Hello, gentle viewers. This is Avindian, welcoming you to Tiny Epic Defenders, the cooperative defense game set in the world of Tiny Epic Kingdoms, designed by Scott Alms and published by Gamelin Games. Tiny Epic Defenders is another game in the Tiny Epic series, which means it's a very small box with a lot of quality content in it. Before we get started, a couple of housekeeping notes. First of all, this is Tiny Epic Defenders First Edition. I highly recommend that if you decide to buy a physical copy of the game, that you buy Second Edition. Second Edition changes some of the rules considerably, and I think you'll find it makes for a much more enjoyable experience. But if you don't mind so much about that, then this DLC, which is a paid DLC, by the way, is perfectly acceptable. It still gives you a lot of replayability. Second, I'm going to show you guys how you set up the game, but I'm going to say up front, I really don't love the way that Tiny Epic Defenders DLC is not scripted at all. And if they were to do a second edition of this DLC, or heck, even do the second edition of Tiny Epic Defenders, I'd love to see them include some scripting for setup, because it's a little bit involved. We're going to be playing with two players, the red player and the yellow player, and so I'm going to remove the green and blue tokens, and we're going to find the blue ally card and the green ally card, and those are going to get removed as well. I'm going to take all the cards that I remove and put them over here for reasons that I'll explain in a moment. So, in a two-player game, you keep both of these ally cards. So these four cards will start what's called the turn deck. The next thing we need is we need some enemies. There are 9 basic enemies in the game. And what we're going to do is we're going to take 3 of them. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. There we go. Shuffle these up. Take 1. Put the rest over there. So, there are 2 decks. Technically 3, but only 2 of them actually matter, that operate in Tiny Epic Defenders. There's what's called the turn deck, and then what's called the horde deck. At the start of the game, as you saw, there are 4 hero cards in the turn deck and 3 enemy cards. We're eventually going to be adding 4 more enemies to this deck until we become increasingly outnumbered. When this deck is empty, we reveal the Tiny Epic foe, and then we fight them. And if we defeat them, we win the game. And if we don't, we don't. The last part of setup that we need to do is we need to decide who all is going to be our 2 heroes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this card over. I'm going to go shuffle 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to flip it back over, and then the top 2 cards are going to be our heroes. Hey, it's a Centaur Druid. I don't want to do the Centaur Druid because I just did that in my last game. So we're going to pick these 2 heroes, and then the rest of these get removed from the game. So we have the Sorcerer Elf. Another thing I find somewhat irritating is you have to resize these, because otherwise they're too big. And then we have the Paladin, a dirty human. Humans are so lame. And then we put the 2 heroes in the capital city. Alright. So, in this game, we are trying to protect our capital city of our glorious kingdom from a horde of foes who want to burn it to the ground and eat all of its inhabitants. I'm assuming they want to eat them. That's what they typically do. And Our job is to prevent that from happening long enough for the tiny epic foe to reveal themselves, the mastermind behind these attacks, and then murder them in the face. That is what we're trying to accomplish. But before we can do anything with that, a couple more shuffles. We need to talk about what the heroes can do on their turn. For most of the game, the heroes will get 3 actions, and they can use an action to do one of a few things. Number 1, they can go to an adjacent region for 1 action. Important, from the capital city, the forest and mountains are considered adjacent. The rest of these are not. So you can't go right from the capital city to the coast, unless an ability lets you do so. The second thing you do is provide succor, or support, which reduces the threat in a particular region, but not the capital city. Very important. Third, some regions actually have abilities of their own. Like, for instance, with the coast, you can move any hero to a region that's adjacent to them. So basically use an action on your turn to move them on their turn. Pretty spicy. Last, you may have an action on your card, and we see one right here. The Sorcerer can spend 2 action points and reduce the threat of their region by 3. That's pretty powerful, I gotta say. That's pretty exciting. Please note it says region. These are regions. The capital city is not. So that doesn't count. I don't think you use that to save the capital city. But the Paladin has a passive action. If they defend, they can spend another health point and either give someone else healing or reduce threat, which is pretty awesome. You can also use an action to use an artifact if the artifact requires it. We'll talk about artifacts a little bit later on. Lastly, at any point, if you desperately want 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or any more of actions, you can burn health to do it. However, very important thing to keep in mind in this game, especially if you've played a lot of role-playing games in the past. If someone gets to 0 HP, they are not dead. I cannot stress that enough. They simply lose the ability to defend regions or provide succor. But other than that, they're fine. That's not great, obviously. They also can't fight at 0 HP. So, let's get started, shall we? So, we take the top card, we flip it over, and then we do what it says. It is a red shield. It is the red player's turn. So do note the desert. The desert is an annoying region to deal with because if you go there, it takes 2 action points to leave. I don't want to mess with that. So we're going to go 1 to reduce this to 0. I would spend, and it was also an action point to go there, so I have 1 action left. We're going to go to the ruins and see what happens there. Done. Next card. We have giant angry bears attacking the mountains and armed skeletons attacking the ruins. Can't do anything about the mountains. But I can defend the ruins. And if I defend, instead of increasing threat in the ruins by 1, I lose a health. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. We now have a group turn. This means collectively, we get 3 actions to spend as we want to. I want to get the mountains under control, so I'm going to give all 3 to you. We're going to go 1, 2, and 3. Done. And another group turn. All right, so we're going to go 1. We're going to use an action to take this threat from the desert and add it to the ruins for 2. And then a third action to remove that threat. Remember, going to the desert is bad. We want to avoid that at all costs. Okay, we got some spidery boys and some skeletons doing some attacking. We can't protect the spiders. But we can defend against the skeletons, but I'm just going to let it happen. 1 threat isn't a big deal. Coast gets attacked. Very bad sign there. Then the mountains get attacked. I'm going to go ahead and use 2 health points. 1 to block the defense and 1 to heal our sorcerer friend. Last but not least, it's Yellow's turn. We need to get that coast fixed post-haste. But it's really annoying. Because it would be 1, 2, 3. That would be my whole turn. But that's what has to happen, right? 1, 2, 3. Because we don't want any regions to get destroyed this early in the game. So we have completed 1 round of Tiny Epic Defenders. Now I take a card from the Horde deck, add it in, shuffle it up, and round 2 begins. It is an all allies turn. Delightful. Let's do 2 to save the coast. And let's also send you... Let's send you to the plains. No. Let's go to the forest. The reason being, I want her to be able to go and heal when she gets a chance. And in fact, I'm going to have her burn a health point to get another action and go to the capital city. So that she can heal when we next draw her card. Or she can use an action this card. Great. So she's going to take her turn. So she has to use at least 1 action point. So she shall. 1 to go to the mountains. 2 to go to the plains. 3 to go to the forest. Because she can cover both regions now. The coast and the mountains are undefended, but we have to make sacrifices somewhere. Or I could just come over here. Let me do 1 to reduce threat. 2 to go to the coast. And then we'll just kind of sit tight here. I don't need a 3rd action right now. We have revealed the dire enemy of the Manticore. Now, the Manticore is in the plains. You'll notice it takes 2 health to defend. But if we don't do it, the Manticore inflicts 2 threat instead of just 1. So she will accept the 2. Oh, wait. No. That's the desert. That's not the plains. There's no one there to defend. 1, 2. Boom. Yikes. Coast and mountains. We're going to eat 1 to protect the mountains. And I think we eat 1 to protect the coast. Ruins get hit, and the mountains got hit. I'm just going to let the mountains happen, because I don't want to burn through all of my health. Forest for 1, ruins for 1. She will protect the ruins. And then yellow gets their turn. Yeah, this is rough, but it's got to be done. 1, 2. Sorry, we'll do 1, 2, 3. And someone's going to have to stay in the desert as much as possible, given the scary Manticore. Horde deck. To turn deck. Shuffle, shuffle. Flip. Oh dear, ruins got hit. And the plains got hit. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. How How many action points? It's 2. Right. I've got an idea. 1, 2. Spend a health point so that I have a total of 2 action points remaining. Then I use my lightning, and I reduce this by 3. So the ruins are now safe. Now it's yellow's turn. Heal that by 2, please, yellow. And then it'll be... Great. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Coast and the mountains both get hit. I can protect the mountains, and I believe I shall. So I'll take a damage there. Here's the Manticore. We're going to go ahead and protect it. And because we faced off against a dire enemy, we get a big reward. An artifact. These are very powerful one-use abilities, or one-time use. We have the Hammer of Might, where we can use an action and reduce threat to 0. That's pretty powerful. The mountains get hit again. We're going to protect it. The ruins get hit. I'm going to protect that. Okay, it's Red's turn. Red's going to go a 1, a 2. And then Forest and Ruins both get hit. We really want to get you home as soon as possible so that you can heal. We'll figure it out. Don't worry. Manticore attacks again. She cannot defend because she has no HP, which means 2 threat in the desert. That's not ideal. Mountains got attacked, as did the ruins. Coast and desert. Okay, we have an allied turn. I'm gonna use my Hammer of Might already. Artifacts are one-time use, right? In 2nd edition, they're not. You can use them as much as you want, but I think in this game, they're all one-time use. Yep. Yeah, it's one time. So we're going to go ahead and use our first action to do that, and then we'll get rid of all the threat here. That's 1. And then I think we do 2, 3, as much as I don't want to. But it's got to be done. And hey, it's yellow's turn now. So we're going to go 1, 2. Okay, mountains hit again. Coast hit again. 1 more and our first region's destroyed, but I can't do anything about it. Perfect. Okay, red heals and takes an action. You're going to go over to here. Then yellow heals and takes an action. Because you can't heal unless you take an action. She's going to go to the mountains. I'm going to send my last action point to get you over the coast. So we can stop it from being destroyed. Forest is now, and ruins are both in real trouble. And we just had our first destroyed region. Them's the breaks, my friends. So, when a region is destroyed, you take a card from the decks that you took out of the game, and you place it on top like so. And then I guess you can get rid of the meter because you don't need it anymore. Something very important, however, mitigates what just happened. Because there's both a good part and a bad part to this. The good part, or the bad part, is that any further damage to the ruins will not go after the capital city, starting the clock to us losing the game. But we now get 4 actions for every card that we play. So that's good news. And I did increase the planes, right? I did. And it's Red's turn. Red's going to use 2 actions to use their lightning to clear out all the threat. And then I'm going to have you go here and burn 2 health to remove all the threat from the forest. Wait, I didn't need to do that. I didn't need to burn 2 health. It was 2, 1, 2. So yeah, I only burned 1 because I got 4 actions for the rest of the game. I think. I deleted the manual by accident. Whoopsie. I'll check my quick hard copy here. Yeah, you always get 4 when your region is destroyed. So there you go. Notice we just added the last card to the Horde deck. Assuming we survive this turn, the Epic Foe will reveal themselves next turn. And we'll get to see what we'll be fighting. So, without further ado... Plains and Ruins. That's real bad. I can't defend the ruins from where I am. Boop. Forest. I'm just going to let the forest soak it. The coast. I'll let the coast soak it because I don't have a choice. Mountains and Ruins again. She's going to eat the mountains. But, yeah, we need someone to cover the ruins quite badly. Looks like Red's going to be the big winner there. So we're going to take an action to remove this threat. I'm going to spend 2 more points to reduce a threat to the plains. And our 4th point is going to get me to the ruins so that I'm not defending the capital city. Okay, we have desert and coast. Technically, coast should come first. Okay, 4 action points. To do things. One, 2, 3, 4. Coast and mountains. Coast is in real trouble. But I now have someone to defend against the Manticore. And that was really what I wanted to make sure that we could do. What does this do? The Zodiac Cloak lets me shuffle 2 ally or group ally cards back into the turn deck and continue. What? That could be a game saver. Alright. We do have 4 actions to split between us. The desert's no longer priority number 1. But I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Using my magical lightning. And that's fine. Yellow's turn. I was hoping for that. Brilliant. You're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then Forest and Ruins, she can eat the damage from the ruins. And then I'm going to go ahead And no, I'm not going to do it yet. I'll wait and do it later. So, no cards in the Horde deck. We are fighting the Dragon. At the end of every round, it deals 2 damage to all heroes, and he is living in the mountains. So, this now adds an additional action to the game. Fight. If we're in the region with the epic foe, for every action we spend, we can cause 1 damage. But he's going to do 2 damage to every hero at the end of every round. So that's very important. So we're going to have to keep that in mind. So there's now really 3 places we want covered at all times. We only have 2 people. And most importantly, yellow really needs to take a break. Manticore, 2 damage to the desert. Can't be prevented. Too bad. Every 1 turn. Great. I'm gonna go... One, two, three. You're gonna burn an HP so that you can go 4, 5. And that way we can make sure the ruins are covered so that we don't lose them too. Alright. Red's turn. Okay. One, 2, 3, 4. Because you can also defend the ruins using the plains, so that'll be fine. Okay, forest and ruins. Can stop the forest, can stop the ruins by soaking the damage. Coast and desert. Plains and ruins. I'm going to let the plains happen, but I'm going to protect the ruins, so I'm now out of HP. Yellow. Great. So yellow heals. For free. And then I'm going to come over here. For 1. And I'm going to go 2, 3, 4. And that's good enough for now. Forest and coast. Coast and mountain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to defend and I'm going to heal red with an additional HP. Okay. Some hero actions now. Okay, I have a cunning plan. Because I don't want anyone to be at less than 2 HP when the round ends. I'm going to go 1, 2, so that you can heal. I'm going to punch you in the face, 3, 4. And then I'm going to go ahead and use my Zodiac Cloak. This lets me reshuffle 2 ally or group allies back into the turn deck. I'm going to grab the group ally. And there should be another group ally. Here it is. Okay. Group allies, what a shock. You heal for 1, or for free actually. 1 to go here. 2, 3, 4. And there we go. With a double punch in the face, the dragon has been defeated. The realm is saved. We only lost one region, but we were very close to losing 3 more. This could have gone very badly very quickly, but we did it. The dragon is defeated. Tiny Epic Defenders is over, and thank you very much for watching. Next week, we're going to start our playthrough of the Great Western Trail. I don't know whether that'll be 1 video or 2, but it'll be a great time regardless. So thank you very much for watching. And until next time, this has been Avindian, and I bid you good day. And we kill the dragon the only way we know how, by flipping the table.